what would you recommend when conducting home visits with families?
I think the most important piece for practitioners to keep in mind is that the family is an essential part of the therapy process, and it's critical to include them in your sessions and to collaborate with them throughout goal planning, treatment planning, as well as intervention, and taking the time to educate them so that they can, throughout the remainder of the week, be able to implement and be a part of the therapeutic process. I've known therapists who have been let go by their families because they didn't take the time to educate the family. And don't take it for granted that a family doesn't want to be a part of the process. Sometimes all it takes is for you, the professional, just to make that invitation and to help to facilitate that bond between the parent and child. I think it's hard for us to imagine what it's like to have difficulty with playing with your child with autism or feeding your child with autism. It's hard to relate to that if you've never had to experience that personally, but sometimes it's just as simple as that, inviting the parent to come and play a board game or having them conduct the feeding intervention and you providing strategies for them. So that's the most important thing, I think. Have them be, include them, just include them and make that invitation.
Do you have any tips if there are families that are resistant or push back against that?
Well, if your goals are truly client-centered and you've found out what it is that they say that they want, you're going to equip them with strategies to get there, and so they should be motivated to that. And there are definitely other variables. There are other children involved, other medical appointments, other social appointments and responsibilities, but being sensitive and asking them, how could this fit into their day? And the research has shown that when we can provide home programming that fits in with family routines, then implementation is facilitated for families to be able to successfully carry them out. And so just being client-centered, educating them as much as possible. Sometimes there's a cultural issue, and so, for example, I had a little girl who was Spanish speaking, and I tried to provide different fine motor activity recommendations for their family, and when it was making Play-Doh tortillas, that clicked. And so finding out what it is that is relevant to the family it takes work, but it's definitely worthwhile.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.